Chapter 4. "Time to wake," Baba said. Robert pretended not to hear him and burrowed even deeper into his down sleeping bag. Suddenly the bag was zipped open. "Shit," Robert muttered as the cold air poured in. "You've got 10 minutes, Baba told him. Robert sat up and reached for his flashlight. He yanked on his sweatpants and shirt, slipped on his flip-flops, and made his way outside. He walked over to a small pond near the ashram. Then he squatted down, splashing some cold water onto his face. After that, Robert stood up and took a deep breath, feeling somewhat awake. "Come on," Baba called out, and Robert hurried over to a spot outside the ashram where they had been doing their morning spiritual practice. Quickly he threw a mat down before the yogi, and then Robert's test began. Soon Robert had his legs 6 inches off the ground, pumping his navel hard as the air forcefully came in and out of his nostrils in a breathing technique called breath of fire. After that, it was on to one yogic position after another until Robert's whole body felt electric. After that, they rested for a few minutes and then began an hour of chanting. When that was done, Baba told Robert that he could finally relax, and Robert quickly threw a blanket over himself, going to sleep. When he awoke, the sun was up as well, and Baba was sitting next to him, doing his prayers. "Can I ask you something?" Robert said once the yogi had finished. Baba raised his eyebrows up, which Robert took to be a yes. "I feel different in these early morning hours, not really myself." "No, it is your true self," Baba countered. "Anyway, day has begun. Time to get breakfast ready." Robert grimaced, thinking of another meal of rice and vegetables. "All right," Baba said, shaking his head, smiling. "Today, we'll dine out." A few minutes later, Baba had exchanged his t-shirt and shorts for a blue robe, white turban, and leather sandals, and was ready to leave. "Come on," Baba told Robert, locking the padlock on the door. And with that, they began walking down the dirt road toward Rishikesh. As they neared town, Robert spotted a wandering ascetic sitting by the road. The man's beard was at least a foot long, knotted into clumps like a Rastafarian, while his hair was tied into a cone-like web. The ascetic smiled as they approached him, his palms pressed together at his chest. Baba returned the gesture, and Robert did the same. "Why did we have to leave Delhi?" Robert asked as they passed the man. "You heard what Basunda said? I was a marked man." "Yeah, but I don't get it. Why couldn't he just fire you?" "Teacher's job is to lead a student to infinity, not to his ego," Baba said. "That is law number 1, and it was driven into our heads like a nail by our teacher, Basunda, me, and that guy up in the hills, Rishi Siraj. So when I saw what Basunda was doing, wanting people's money and thinking that they should be delighted to be fucked by him," Baba said, the passion rising in his voice, "I couldn't stay quiet. So I blew his cover and told all his students that he was corrupt. And for that, he wants me killed, and would be happy to do it," Baba said, resuming his walk. Robert walked along, a worried look on his face. "I know that guy," Baba said, tapping his finger on the face of Robert's t-shirt. "Jerry Garcia?" Robert asked incredulously. "Yeah, but when I knew him, he wasn't called that. He was, how you say it, captain of the Trips?" "Captain Trips," Robert replied, using Jerry's 60s moniker. "How'd you know him?" Baba sighed. "Well, my teacher and I were in Rishikesh, and all the hippies flooded us, and it was freak out this and far out that and God knows what else. So he put some money in my palm and said, 'Go to America. It is the beginning of the era. See what's happening.' So for 2 years I did." "And Jerry?" "Nice boy. Too many chemicals, but nice boy." As they came to the bridge leading into the commercial section of town, Baba thought about the real reason he had gone to America. In truth, he had to go, or he would have been spirited away by the Soviets to Tashkent, where they would have forced him to show them everything he knew about the occult. "Get out of here fast," his teacher had told him in Baba's less romanticized version of why he came to America, "or they will squeeze everything out of your brain." A few minutes later, they arrived at the steps of the restaurant, Chotiwala. As Baba walked up the dusty cement steps to the restaurant, he was met by a torrent of greetings. The restaurant staff swarmed around him, touching his feet and hugging him. Baba smiled warmly back as he greeted his old friends. As they went inside, Baba sniffed the air. He closed his eyes, letting the scent of freshly made chapatis wash over him. It was a smell that Baba intimately recognized. The golden wheat of the Punjab, freshly ground, made into dough, rolled into circles and heated on the grill. Scent is like God, Baba thought. Nothing can stop it. The scent took him back to a time when his family's cook would grind the flour each morning, making spicy paranthas and yogurt for breakfast. That had been Baba's Eden, coming before the partition and his family's bloody flight from Pakistan to India. But God loves irony, Baba thought. If he hadn't lost everything in that exodus, then he wouldn't have hated the world. And if he hadn't hated the world, then he never would have found his teacher. "It smells like heaven," Baba said to his old friends. "Please sit," they implored him. And within minutes there was a stack of buttered paranthas placed right before his eyes.